Good day, Tamers. Welcome back to some cool news with me, Agito Swiftly, your favourite British gentleman. So, let's just jump into it. I'm going to be doing the Patamon and Armadillo deck today. I don't really like how this deck has been made. I think some of the effects are really cool. I like some of the effects. I think some of the cards are really good. But I'm not a massive fan of Vikemon specifically. I just don't think Vikemon is a very good top end for this. But we kind of have to deal with it, unfortunately. So, Vikemon, I guess, is that top part. But before we get there, we will look at the cards individually, going from in training through to the rookies, to the champions, to the ultimates, to the megas, and then the option cards, as well as the tamers for this deck. So, first up is our lovely Upamon here on the side. Opponent's turn, well, this Digimon has 2 more colours, it gains blocker. I think it's a very good option for a deck to have, just easier access to a blocking setup. If you can go from yellow up to 2 colours. A lot of decks these days do have 2 colours, so it shouldn't be an issue totally for most people. But again, very simple card, great concept, a fantastic artwork, and can come in 2 other rarities as pre-release as well as box toppers. So for those of you out there who like your max rarity, pick your poison, as you've got 2 shiny cards to pick from. But from this guy, we're going to go to its evolution, Mr. Armadillomon. Probably my favourite Digimon card from this series. Mr. Armadillomon over here, the southern gentleman that he is just a happy, lovable, smiley boy. Look at him, look how happy he is. Cost free to play, costs 1 to go from a blue or a yellow source, or an Upamon for 0 cost. Funny enough though, 2 Upamons I believe are yellow, and then 1 Upamon is currently blue. I could be wrong about the Upamon, it could be 2 blues. But it is very funny that basically all the cards that you probably would Digivolve from are essentially the Upamon that you can already Digivolve from for free. Your turn will be spent when one of your other Digimon is played or Digivolves. If it has the free trait or is yellow, gain more memory. The annoying thing for Armadillomon, our favouriteest boy over here, is his partner is so incompetent in life that they are a data Digimon. So, yeah, good thing they're yellow. But no, I do like lovely boy over here, Armadillomon. But I'd like him to be an uncommon at least, so that way he could have got him in foil. But unfortunately, beggars can't be choosers. And I'm just happy we got more Armadillomon. Now, you may have noticed I'm not a massive fan of Patamon. Gilius charged. I'm not a biggest fanboy of Patamon. I think he's overhyped, but if you love him with all your heart. Cost free to play. Can Digivolve from a yellow or a black source for the cost of 1, or a Tokamon for 0. Now, funnily enough, we do have a black Tokamon, we have a purple Tokamon, we have a yellow Tokamon, and I'm not sure if we have a blue Tokamon, but if we don't, we should. Then start of your main phase. On play, if it's your turn, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a level 4 Digimon card with the Angel or the free trait in your hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 1, which obviously it's a pretty good Patamon. I'm not gonna lie, it does his deeds. Obviously, we have the other BT16 Patamon that's he's definitely a card. So you are kind of set up for good Patamons now, at least. But why'd you have to do my poor friend dirty? Actually, I don't know why they didn't do this. Tangent for a second. Why couldn't they give him a little thing in the corner that says also treat as a free Digimon, so that way you could have used the Armadillomon effect as well? Just because you can't, as long as you're not vaccine, you know, you're basically not cheating the rules. So could have made him a free one there, Bandai. That poor little guy. Going on over now to Ankylomon, which is the evolution to our lovely Armadillomon. I'm going to say this now, guys. Probably not a hot take. Probably lukewarm at best. I really hope that when we get into the Beginnings 2, or whatever the second movie is called, when we get to the 02 second film, that we get a level 5 for this line. I want an official level 5, and if I could be so cheeky, maybe an official level 6. As, look how cool this dinosaur is. You ask any 5-year-old how cool a dinosaur is. He's a cool looking dinosaur. If I get any spare cards of this, I'm going to get spare cards of this, buying 4 boxes. My sons can have playsets of their own. But I've talked about how cool this card is, just from looks. Let's talk about how good this card is. So, 4000 DP, nothing to scoff at really. 4 play cost, pretty good. Although you may have noticed a lot of the champions in this set do have that 4 play cost. And kind of going forwards have that 4 play cost. From a yellow or a blue sourced Digimon over here, costs 3. But if you do it from an Armadillomon, it does cost you only 2. Can Digivolve from the black Armadillomon. The pure black one. Barrier. On play, when Digivolving one of your opponent's Digimon can't attack players until the end of your turn. Fantastic if your opponent only has one Digimon on the field. Stops them from attacking into you, personally speaking. Obviously, if they can attack into your unsuspended Digimon, nothing you can do about that, I'm afraid. Barrier, though, to keep it alive if it does get smashed into, because you can just pop a security and keep it alive for another turn, which could be what you need to do. And then Inherit Effect, all turns, it does get 1000 DP, which makes it a little bit easier to be tankier on your opponent's turn as well as your own turn. Going over now to Angemon, the Deus Ex Machina of the Digimon series over here. Play cost of 4, 4000 DP, can evolve from a yellow or a black sourced Digimon for cost of 3. Digimon from Patamon for cost of 2, making it a bit simpler, but also could technically be a cost of 1 if you look at the effect of the Patamon from this set. Blocker on play, or when Digivolving, and spend one of your level 4 or lower Digimon. So, if you want to run the Kyuremon from BT16, get yourself jamming. If you've got a way of like triggering the barrier effect, pop a card from your security, swing with the Patamon because it has the ability to have jamming now, because it's the effect of the card. Swing into security, go up into this for a cost of possibly just 1. And then you can unsuspend yourself to swing again, so you do get to have 3 swings in that little like turn there. I do think we're going to see a little bit more, maybe like Rush Angemon in the future, but it's really down to you guys. And then when attacking, trash the top Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. Really good. Obviously, most of the time you use trash from the bottom, but trashing from the top is actually really cool, and it does help out the deck strategy towards the end of the Digivolution line. Now, moving over to MagnaAngemon, the favourite angel of most people here. To be fair, I do like the purple arm guard that he has. Just give me cool fake ninja vibes. Cost 6 to play, 6000 DP. You know where this is going. 4 to go from a blue or yellow source, or from an Angemon for a cost of 3. On play, or when Digivolving, if it's your turn, search your security stack. This Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with the Angel or 3 Great Angel traits. Amongst them, with the Digivolution cost reduced by 2, which I think is a really good thing. Then shuffle your security stack. If this effect Digivolved, you may place 1 Digimon card with the Angel, Archangel, or 3 Great Angels traits from your hand at the bottom of your security stack. Generally speaking, besides the Patamons, you will be playing just Angels probably in this deck, or an Angel variant of this deck. There is a fairly good Angel deck, I think, in EX6 that did see some play at the start of EX6, so it might make a turn up here as well. So, good card for that. Opponent's turn, all of your Digimon with the Angel, Archangel, or 3 Great Angel traits gains blocker. It's very similar to the Angemon that we had before, that was for every yellow card, I think it gained blocker. So it's nice to see some in archetype love, I guess, for this line. Shakkoumon. Like, look, I think he's cool. If you saw Adventures 2020, you know he's cool. So, 8000 DP, 8 play cost, Digivolve for a cost of 4 from a black or yellow source, or if you can DNA from a black and a yellow source, cost of 0. Partition, level 4 yellow and black Digimon cards, and then when Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon isn't affected by the effects of their Digimon. Then, if DNA Digivolving, place one of your opponent's Digimon with a higher or lower level than the number of cards in your security stack as the bottom of their security stack. So, depending on how you want to run this deck, you might get this to like level 6 maybe. Obviously it depends on your opponent and obviously how you're doing, but so it's quite interesting. And then the inherited effect is Partition, which is if you essentially walk into security and you get punched down, you do get to bring your level 4s back out, which is obviously really good, as they both have on plays, can be really interesting as well. SlashAngemon, I think this is a very cool looking card. Look, I'm sure there's some like emo phase weeaboo thing in me, but 2 sword for arms, always cool. Technically got a sword for his forehead as well. There's a joke in there somewhere, guys. Cost 11 to play, 11,000 DP. Or Digivolve from a yellow or a black source for a cost of 3. Obviously from the MagnaAngemon at a cost of 1, which was very good. Barrier, reboot, and then all turns will return when a card is removed from your security stack. You may unspin this Digimon. The idea here is essentially that you crash into your opponent's security. You hit a security Digimon that's higher than you. You get to fall over. You get to barrier to save yourself. You get to unsuspend. And you get to do it again. Hopefully you don't die. And then on your opponent's turn, you obviously just reboot because it's you know, part of your thing. And then if they have 3 Digimon, for instance, you block one of them, they swing on of 1, you move a card from your security stack because they hit your security, you get to spin again, and then you get to block again with the inherited effect of the MagnaAngemon that we just saw in the previous cards. Although, to be fair, at the same time, you could also just do this through the Upamon that we saw earlier. So there are multiple ways to get blocker on this, if you were to bring it that way, which I don't think you would. This guy. So, I don't really have a problem with it. I think the card's really good. The only issue is I don't like the fact that it is the canonical level 6. Because, I don't know, I just feel like a clay idol for a religious symbol wouldn't go into a Viking, personally speaking. Although I'm sure there's a joke in here somewhere about Vikings pillaging churches and stuff, so joke somewhere. Play costs of 7, 12,000 DP, costs 4 to go from a black or blue level 5, or from Shaku or Zuda, costs 3, which is a little bit better. Can counter Blast Digivolution, obviously, Digivolve one of the colours, and you get to have these effects. So on play and when Digivolving, Digivolve 2, one of your opponent's Digimon, and then none of their Digimon with 1 or fewer Digivolution cards can suspend until the end of their turn, which means no alliance, no blocking, no attacking, so you know, it's quite good. And when I say alliance, I mean specifically cards that make you suspend something to alliance. And then when attacking one of your opponent's Digimon with 1 or fewer Digivolution cards, again, this isn't once per turn, but I don't think we have a deck for this where you can swing multiple times off the top of my head. There could be one, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Again, I think the card's really good. The card's actually super solid, to be fair, in a different strategy, but not necessarily in the Patamon Armadillomon deck. Then we have ourselves Cody and TK in their Winter Drip, which, to be fair, Cody's looking kind of warm and nice and chill. I think he's wearing a suit, right? But then TK looks a bit more safer wearing the yellow, so those dark streets in Tokyo, you need to make sure that you're visible at all times. Cost of 4, and then start of your main phase. You may play 1 Armadillo or 1 Patamon from your hand. Without paying the cost, at the next end of your opponent's turn, return to the hand. Again, we've had this discussion multiple times. I do not know if you go into the level 4, if you have to send it back to the hand, or if it becomes a different source of knowledge, or if you have to DNA for it to be forgotten about. I do not know, I'm afraid. One day I'll understand. Your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolves into a black or yellow Digimon by suspending this tamer, gain a memory. I like memory gaining, always fun. And if DNA digivolving, digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. I like digivolving my opponent's Digimon, so it's also fine. The deck itself has like a lot of options for good yellow tamers, so you shouldn't come as surprised that they're kind of covered for good cards. I mean, you could play literally the original TK, the BT16 TK, the TK and Kari, this TK, and still be in like a really good position. So yeah, I think the deck's super solid when it comes to tamers itself, and like, yeah, I think if you really wanted to build this deck, you'd obviously not play this variant of the deck, you play an actual variant of the deck. But your tamer cards, super solid, and having access to a black now as well as the yellow stuff is kind of interesting. You could possibly look at being more of a defensive style card, maybe playing a Kongu or 2, making it sort of so your opponent has to basically overpay basically to play, and at that point you can just zap them down with something maybe like Heaven's Judgment, which is a yellow card, although it's technically the best green card in the game too. And then finally we come to the advent of the Ancient Steel Angel. It is a Dogu, if I remember correctly. That's what Shakkoumon is. Cost of 3, and he's black and yellow on the field, which isn't too bad for this deck because a lot of this is black and yellow, makes sense. Main, you may play 1 Ankylomon or 1 Angemon from your hand without paying the cost. Then 2 of your Digimon may DNA Digivolve into a Digimon card in your hand. If this effect DNA Digivolve, you may recover 1. And then security effect is to play an Armadillo or a Patamon from the hand or trash without paying the cost, then add this card to hand afterwards. Again, super effective, such a great card, costing 3, getting so much out of it, having to be able to just basically throw down a level 4, so you're basically reducing the cost by 1 already, and then if there's also another level 4 on the field, presumably one or the other, you can then go up into your level 5s and just basically cause havoc, because I like Chaos. I'm sure you like Chaos too, because man, you like Chaos too. I know I do. But that's the deck really, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this little read through. Again, Not a very good deck as it is, from what I can tell. For how it goes, really, Imperial super solid, but you're going to change up some bits from like BT12 and so forth and so on. With this, you're going to basically look at a couple of the cards and go, it's kind of cool, but I'm probably just going to play like the Angel build, and then maybe a Shakkoumon just to have some fun. You just obviously need to make sure you got yourself a yellow-black source to go into from the level 4s. Although, to be fair, you might not play Shakkoumon at all, which is also fun. And then we have access to the Valkyrie line, and that is just a really solid deck as it is. Obviously, you can put in what you need and what you want. Promo Hawkmon's probably one of the few cards that you're going to want to stick in there because you don't have access to it otherwise. You could also play Sabledramon as well if you want to have more like a defensive package just to try and force your opponent to have to fight you on your terms. That's down to you though. Didn't hear that from Mr. Agito. But no, I think we've had a really good time here looking at the 0-2 casts decks for this revamp, as it's been 2 years since the last one. And I look forward to seeing 24s, which should be, if it's every 8 sets, we should see them 2 more years. So in 2026, we'll see the next update. And hopefully, our little boy, Armadillomon, gets himself a perfect level 5. Mwah! Ciao for now, Tamers. See you guys soon. Hope you have a fantastic day. And catch you guys in the next one.